Well, it's great to have you with us. Thanks for tuning in to EWTN Radio, and this is Take Two with Jerry and Debbie and you. This is your program, and it's the one where we put a topic out there most of the time. On one day a month, we have Unscripted, where we don't have a topic, but each and every other day we have a topic, and we present that to you. Debbie and I share some thoughts on that, and then we invite you to share your own experiences. And Debbie, today I think there are going to be a lot of people who will want to weigh in on this topic.
Absolutely. We're asking the question today, what is college like these days? What is college like? We're asking our college-age students to weigh in and tell us what it's like on campus life or virtual campus life, what the culture is like, what kind of influence that has on you and your faith life. Are you getting a solid education? Are you going to a Catholic college, and maybe, you're feeling safe there because you're under the banner of Saint something, Catholic college, but yet the culture feels strange. Or you are in school and you're thinking, wow, I feel like I'm an alien or something. I don't relate to everybody here anymore. This doesn't feel comfortable. Or maybe you come home and you share with your parents, and your parents have something to say about this. You get the picture? We want to hear the good, the bad, and the ugly. We say that all the time on Take Two. As a matter of fact, when we did our book, Trustful Surrender, we wanted to hear the good, the bad, and the ugly stories because we want to hear every aspect, because that's how we really learn. That's how we really grow. So please answer the question, what is college like these days? We want to know. Jerry and I are getting much older, and we've lost kind of some of our imagery of what college was like. So call us 833-288-3986. Or maybe you do remember a lot of your college days. I don't.
Well, I do have many great memories. You went to Arizona State, right?
I started there.
Started there? Okay.
Didn't finish there, and then I got my graduate degree from University of San Francisco. Mm-hmm.
Ah, that's right. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for me it was Franciscan University of Steubenville. So, and parents of college students, you are most welcome to call in because your students may be, checking the date. They're probably back on campus by now, hopefully, or going to be very soon, or maybe they're doing remote learning as their college days right about now. So parents, you too are very, very welcome to call in and share what your son's or daughter's experience currently is or has been, especially if you're the one who is footing the bill for this college education and you want the very, very best for your sons and daughters. So let us hear from you here at 833-288-EWTN, 833-288-3986.
And we just got word from some of our Take Two listeners that maybe, just maybe, the call volume might be down just a little bit, because apparently I understand that President Trump just took the stage at the rally in D.C. So we're asking you, please, if you can, we really need you to participate with this show. So if you are catching that news, could you maybe step away, or maybe, I don't know, tape it on your TV or whatever, and join us for this discussion, because this is very important. We're talking about college. And let me share something. Jerry and I do a lot of life coaching, and we work with parents who repeatedly, and over the years, I've heard this all the time in religious education, that that you send your child off to college, and after the first break, they come home and they start doing kind of strange things, like saying, I don't want to go to church. Well, Mom, Dad, I don't even know if I believe in God. And you're thinking, well, the only thing that changed with this child of mine that I know and love ever since birth is that I sent them off to this college, and they started living on campus. So does that sound familiar to you? Because we hear it all the time in life coaching. Can you share with us, parents, what that was like, and tell us, if there were any other things that were said in the home that maybe can help us of what's going on the college campuses? But if you are a college-age student, this is your opportunity, your platform to share everything good about your college and everything not so good. 833-288-EWTN.
So there you go. The topic is out there, and it is for you to call in and make this another impactful show, as you always do. And even parents, like we said, if you want to be the ones to call in, maybe your college-age students are not in a position to call in right now. If you are, are in that demographic category, please do call in. But parents, what has been your experience? And you might even want to share how the college experience for your children is maybe considerably different from when you went to college. Maybe it's not all that different. I would tend to think, Debbie, it probably is different in many, many ways, as you know, ideologies and philosophies and all of these movements and all of these things change over the years. So should be an informative show, and there are probably a lot of people listening who are weighing that college choice right now, thinking about where to go and what college life is going to be like. So, as always, you teach, you inform, you edify, you inspire when you call 833-288-3986.
That is correct. And Ryan is waiting to answer your call. You'll speak to him for a few minutes. He'll put you on hold. You'll get to listen live. So if you're a college-age student, please call in, or a parent of a student. You do not have to be Catholic to call in. We want to hear from you. We want to learn and grow. That's what Take Two is all about. It's a worldwide platform for you to share your life experiences so that we can pull from you the necessary wisdom so that it can better our lives and our faith life. We always have a way of weaving it into our Catholic faith life. So please help us out right now. There's a couple lines getting lit up. That's good. We want to see a Christmas tree again. Come on, you guys. That means all phone lines light up. Step away from the TV step away from the news. It'll always be there when you go back. We need you right now. This is a live broadcast of Take Two with Jerry and Debbie, and you are the key person. 833-288-3986.
Okay, again, if you just tuned in a few minutes after the start of the program here, our topic today is being on a college campus, what life is like, your experience, especially if you are a college-age student, college or university. Maybe you go to a community college. Maybe you have just completed your college experience and you would like to share a little bit about what that is like, especially if you are a Catholic young man or woman, and how that went for you on campus. Did you feel a supportive environment, especially if you were on a Catholic campus? There are a lot of Catholic, quote-unquote Catholic colleges and universities that actually, I think, put some obstacles in the way of young people maintaining their faith sometimes. So a lot to talk about here. We're going to get to your calls here in just a moment. Here is the number again. It's 833-288-3986. You can text the letters EWTN to 55000. Might be a small data rate. You can comment on the video streams on YouTube and Facebook, and you can email us, take2@EWTN.com. I'm Jerry Usher with Debbie Georgianni and the show team. Going to your calls next.
Hello, I'm Kristalina Everett, host of Women Made New. Each week, we sit down with our guests to discuss a range of issues confronting us as Catholic women in today's ever-changing society. Together, we can grow in our relationships with God and each other. You are not alone, and let's heal our brokenness together, where women help women get closer to God. On Women Made New, Saturdays at noon Eastern on EWTN Radio.
Hi, I'm Doug Keck, and this is an EWTN Bookmark Brief. Just had the pleasure of speaking with Caroline Perkins about her book, ABC, Get to Know the Saints with Me, proudly published by EWTN, available through our religious catalog, of course. Tell us, Caroline, ABC, Get to Know the Saints, why did you write this book, and who should pick it up?
Anyone that would like to be a saint, which is anyone. I think that it's so important that we get to know the saints and we get to turn to them during times that are discussed in this book. And it's for all ages, just to really educate others on the communion of saints and this beautiful gift that God has given us.
Okay, very good. ABC, Get to Know the Saints with me. Caroline Perkins is the author. The book is available through our EWTN religious catalog, EWTNRC.com. Christmas is coming. Great book for under the tree. And thank you so much for joining us here on EWTN's Bookmark Brief. And look for the entire interview coming soon. I'm Doug Keck. Thanks for stopping by.
We got a lot of YouTube and Facebook watchers today, viewers today. So we're waving to you. Yes, Jerry and I, we acknowledge you that you're part of the Take Two family, and you can send your comments in. Jeff Burson is waiting to retrieve those and put those on the computer screen for us to read on air. So please send those comments in or keep the chats going. I just wanted to say, Jerry, real quickly, CNA, Catholic News Agency, you can rely on CNA for news, blogs, opinions, and more. For the latest Catholic news, visit CatholicNewsAgency.com. It's an online service from EWTN News. And why do we say that? Because it has a lot of interesting, pertinent articles right now that can really help to move forward and deepen your faith life. I think Catholic News Agency does a fine job, and I'm so glad it's an online service of EWTN.
Yeah, for sure. One of the many great services of EWTN, along with radio programming like the one you're listening to now. It's Take Two with Jerry and Debbie. Michael Birchfield is our producer today. Jeff Burson on social media. Ryan Penny answering your calls at 833-288-3986. Really do hope that we hear from a couple of college-age students here. Share your experience about campus life right now, whether it's a Catholic college, secular college. Good, the bad, the ugly, how are your academics? How's the spiritual life? Are you supported in your faith? Are there extracurriculars, intramurals that you're involved in? Let's just share all of this and how that experience is helping to shape you. 833-288-3986.
And we just want to do a big shout out and invite back for Luke. Luke was our first caller in Dickinson, North Dakota. Luke, please call back. I understand it's a very interesting call. I think you're the brother of someone that attended college. Luke, please call back. And Ryan, it will happily put you at the front of the line because you were our first caller, so something must have dropped. I know there's a lot of cold weather out right now, a lot of strange weather happening, so we expect that. But please, Luke, call back from North Dakota.
Okay, first up now is Wade in Detroit, listening on Ave Maria Radio, and a first-time caller to Take Two. Hi, Wade. Happy New Year to you.
Hello. Happy New Year to you.
Thank you. So what are your thoughts on this?
Well, I sent 3 kids to college since 2010. They were in college from 2010 to my oldest to the youngest graduated in 2018. And I saw the support for all things faith at the schools they were at deteriorate during that time. My daughter went to Xavier in Cincinnati, and she had a good experience there. But both my boys went to state schools, and there was very little. There's no support for faith-based organizations. A lot of hostility towards faith in the programs in the classrooms, and it just seemed from what they told me, what I observed from their friends, in social situations about what their experiences there were. It seemed to be deteriorating a lot. At this point, if I were to do it over again, I would probably have them stay home at least for the first 2 years and go to school to keep them from being bombarded with that hostility at such an early age, and to be able to offer some sort of a counter to it when it was happening.
Right. Wade, I have to tell you, thank you so much. This is definitely, Jerry and I so believe that the Holy Spirit really runs this show. We pray before each and every show. And last night when I was praying about this, I thought, I did the same thing, the same reflection. I thought, how can you allow your children to grow up nicely, become independent, get a good education, become well-rounded individuals, but still somewhat protect them as they are maturing, as they are growing into these wonderful adults. And that was the exact same conclusion I came to, Wade. I said, you know what? If I had to do it over again, I would have had them stay at home and take their core classes online, so that they can get all their core done. They can still, grow up and mature, but have the support of their home life and their community and their parish. And then hopefully with that extra year and a half, 2 years, that would enable them to go into their final part of their degree, focused and with less of the influences, the outside influences that come in. Now, the only downside to that, the only downside to that, Wade, is a lot of kids would say, well, that's not fair. I want the full college experience. I want to go there and have fun and meet friends and party and do all that kind of stuff. So that would be the only kind of pushback I think I would have gotten. But what do you think?
Well, in our state, you can there are community colleges that are very good quality that you can take your actual classes in a classroom.
Right.
And if you're lucky enough to live close enough to a 4-year school, even if that might be a compromise too, to say, okay, fine, you can go to this school, it's 4-year, but you're going to live at home. The dorm experience they think they're going to have is generally not what they have. They don't understand how difficult it is to live with other people you're not related to in the confines of a single room or 2 rooms with 4 people. And so you have a lot of disappointment when they get there. I think they have unrealistic expectations for what the atmosphere there is going to be. I mean, and for as far as being any one of the things that I did run into when I tried to talk to people with kids even younger than mine is I don't think they have an understanding of how much it's changed since they were there. They were like, oh yeah, we had professors that were atheists and we had professors that were communists when I was there. But they don't understand the whole social system there now is involved in pushing back against faith and against, culture.
Right.
The culture that we had.
Right. And I should have mentioned that. I mentioned online, but Jerry's right. You were talking about community schools, community colleges, so that the kids could go there, but actually still stay at home and take their core classes. That too. So with the 2 of them, I totally agree. Though, what do you think, Jerry? Would your college experience have been different if you had? Did you do that? Did you start at home or did you go right to campus?
No, I went right to campus, but as I said, it was Franciscan University of Steubenville, so it was a very healthy experience. And of course, they do not have things like co-ed dorms and all the unhealthy influences that people young people can run into, because Wade, as you're talking about, dorm life seems really kind of appealing and attractive to young people, and you've kind of got this you're got a little bit more freedom, but there's still some structure there. But yet the different people that you're going to run into, like you said, you're going to be roomed with somebody that you don't know. What influence is that person going to have on you? So yeah, I think I'd just be curious to know, Wade, you said, if you had it to do over again, you would have tried to keep them close to home. How was it? Was there an interior struggle within you, where you said, I really want to give them freedom, independence, let them make their own choices, and yet at the same time, you're looking at your responsibility as a parent to try to keep them on the right path?
Oh, certainly. High school kids really don't have an understanding of the implications of the decisions they're making, and they don't have a background, to have that kind of depth of understanding. And the economy is a lot different now than it was then. Things are clearly down from that. One of the things that a number of their friends did that did work out very well is there are alternative programs for careers that are really pretty good careers. I mean, one of my son's friends became a police officer, a couple of them actually, 2-year criminal justice degree from the community college. They're in a job that's fulfilling. Same thing for firefighters, although I don't know anyone who did that. And they have some friends who became tradesmen, electricians and millwrights.
Yeah.
And that's also a very good career path. So at this point, the risks of the social risks of sending them off to that are so high. At a time when they're vulnerable, they're going to be among people they don't know. There'll be a ton of social pressure to do things that they wouldn't do probably a lot on their own, and that they haven't received that kind of social pressure to do before. So I'm just, at this point in time, I'm. If friends ask what I think or what my experiences were who have younger kids, my advice is keep them home where you can keep an eye on them and have a input on them. Sometimes I know if you don't live where there's a university, you can do that, or a community college, you can do that. That's very difficult, but there is online, and And I think the longer you can keep them there, the better your outcome will be.
Yeah, I totally agree. And Wade, it was interesting. You're talking about the police force, and the firefighters. A dear friend of mine, she decided not to go to college, and she decided to go to cosmetology school. She graduated from there, and she opened up her own salon, and she's doing quite well. And it's very interesting. All of her friends are just coming out of college, scrambling to try and find a job. And she is an owner of a salon that's doing really well. So really smart. And she's very good with her parents. She's so good with her parents and so close to her parents. And I was thinking to myself, wow, why couldn't you be my daughter? I mean, she's so wonderful. Yeah. And I agree with you, Wade. I totally agree. Jerry, I know you never had children of your own, but it's so true when you see them change. When you want to let go, you want them to be independent, very productive human beings. But when you see the influences, like Wade said, that social pressure, the pressure around your young adult, it's really hard for them to navigate it, I think.
Well,
Things that
go ahead, Wade.
One of the things that both the kids and the parents didn't understand that were in my children's friend group were that not every good degree leads to employment. So they have friends who have degrees in what are normally considered difficult fields, biology or something like biosciences and stuff, that really didn't lead to a career that was what they thought it would be. And a number of them went into programs where you ended up with a 4-year degree in, say, pre-dental, but then were unable to get into a dental school because there are a lot more kids getting a pre-dental or a pre-med or physical therapy or some of those degrees at the 4-year level, that there are more of them than there are room in the other programs, in the graduate programs that you actually have to practice those things. So they end up with a 4-year degree that they can't go on any further in, that's not real applicable to a profession, and they have a lot of student debt from that. So there's a lot to consider when your kids are heading off to college.
That's right. Well, Wade, bless you. We'll pray for your kids there, and thank you for weighing in on this topic. You've had a lot of great wisdom to share, so we appreciate that so much. A blessed New Year to you, and thanks for listening and being a first-time caller. And you'll never be a first-time caller again, as we say here on Take Two with Jerry and Debbie. So thank you, Wade. We appreciate that very, very much. Got stacked phone lines here. And I did want to mention a YouTube comment, Debbie, if you think I should do that before we go back to the phones. Because we do take your comments. If you are watching the video stream on YouTube or Facebook, you're very valued viewers of the program as well as listeners, and you can weigh in like Jen did. Jen says, I have one, my oldest, who will be heading to college soon. She talks to friends by a game online, and when I told her I'm converting to Catholicism, she said a lot of the LGBT people she speaks with are Catholic, and that sort of concerned her, which makes me wonder, why are so many high school/college-age Catholic kids heading in that direction? I'm wondering if this walk away from church teachings starts much sooner than college. So it's kind of an interesting pondering there by Jen, Debbie, if maybe young people walking away from the church, turning their back on the faith, maybe starts before they get on college campuses.
Yeah. Well, don't get me started, because I was a youth minister for many years, and this shutdown of all our churches, that also included our ministries, and that was the outreach to our youth and our high schoolers and our teens, and that's very unfortunate. They need that support from the parishes. They need that religious education and that community early to get them prepared to go out and to be an adult on the campus, in the campus life. So yeah, don't get me started. That's one of the things I predicted at the beginning of last year with this COVID, that is what's going to happen to all the ministries that aren't sacramentally, that don't revolve around sacraments, Jerry. What's going to happen to these ministries? Is there still going to be money at the parish level to support these ministries? And they're very needed, very needed. What do you think? You were involved in like Life Teen and stuff.
Yeah. Well, I've had, especially when I was in formation for the priesthood, I had a lot of experience working with young people, youth groups, young adults. At the parish where I served my internship, we put on what we called youth and young adult rallies, and we would have a night where people from all throughout the archdiocese would come. We would have a band that would play worship music, and we would spend about an hour before the Blessed Sacrament exposed, offer confessions, and I found that there was a lot of hunger for that. But you're right. I mean, if our parishes are closed and these outreaches and ministries are not available, even on college campuses, boy, kids are at such a disadvantage regarding their faith now already. Debbie, you can just imagine if the relatively low number of them who would go to, a mass on a college campus like a secular, at a Newman Society, a Newman Center or something, you take away that from them, and that disadvantage just grows and grows.
Right, absolutely. But I do know that Focus is alive and well and going strong on the college campuses, so that's wonderful. I know so many people involved in the Focus ministry, and I know we're going to be talking more about that because I see some of the calls. But when we come back, we've got Gabriel up first, Anthony and Maria and Patricia and Lisa and the others, and it's going to be very interesting. You talk about the Holy Spirit, right? Gabriel is up next, okay? Let's talk about our guardian angels and how they can help your young adults on those college campuses. This is Take Two with Jerry and Debbie asking about what college is like these days. We'll be right back.
If you haven't seen the original documentary A Wolf in Sheep's Clothing, you can see it right now free for a limited time. Go to EWTN.com and click On Demand. That's EWTN.com, click On Demand.
To ask, why should I pray, is the same as asking, why should I raise my mind and heart to God, since that's what prayer is. But when stated like that, it's pretty obvious. We need to pray because God is He to whom our minds and hearts are ultimately directed. Union with Him is our ultimate destiny. Without prayer, we lose our direction to God as our ultimate end, and thus set ourselves on a path that leads back into the slavery of sin.
Father Benedict Rochelle.
Brothers and sisters, we got to tell the truth in this country. For heaven's sakes, I wouldn't want to go to a synagogue and find that they were having a Muslim service. I wouldn't want to go to a mosque and run into a Baptist service. I don't want to go to a Baptist church and find out that they're having Mass. We've got to be honest to ourselves. We've got to be what we are. I'd rather a good old-fashioned, honest agnostic than a phony Christian any day of the week. There are reluctant agnostics. There are atheists who are searching for God, and they may find Him. But somebody who says they're doing something in the name of God, in the name of Christ, and God and Christ have nothing to do with it, is violating this commandment. I am the Lord your God. You shall not take my name in vain.
The people you know and trust are on EWTN.
Hi, this is Cy Kellett. Join us later today on Catholic Answers Live as we do our best to explain and defend the Catholic faith. Catholic Answers Live, 6 p.m. Eastern on EWTN Radio. Now back to Take Two with Jerry and Debbie.
Talking about college life today on Take Two with Jerry and Debbie, and we have some college-age young people on the lines, and we'll take you in the order in which you called. And parents, you're welcome to call as well. We're having a vibrant conversation already, and the number for you to dial if you want that one remaining open phone line is 833-288-3986. As promised, Gabriel is next in Boston, listening on the Station of the Cross. Hello, Gabriel. Welcome to Take Two.
Happy New Year.
Oh, thank you so much. Thanks for taking my call.
You're very welcome.
Thank you for holding. Thank you for holding, Gabriel. So tell us, you're still in high school?
Yeah, I'm a high school senior right now, so I've been going through the college application process these last few months, and I've been thinking a lot about what I want in college. So, yeah, I had some thoughts to share from the high school perspective.
Sure.
Yeah, please do. Share with
absolutely.
us everything that's going through your mind and heart. We need to know.
Yeah, so I'll say first, I'm someone who's gone to like all sorts of different schools in my life. I was homeschooled for a while in elementary school. In sixth grade, I went to an evangelical Christian school, and they were, they were very much on fire with their faith, and it was really a big part of the community. Unfortunately, they weren't big fans of Catholics, so that only lasted a year. I went to actually 2 Catholic schools in middle school, and my experience with that was that it didn't feel very Catholic to me. I didn't think that like what I was getting was any better than I would be getting from just, learning from my parents or from being part of a youth group. And in some ways it was like discouraging when all these people you're going to school with are supposed to be Catholic and it's supposed to be a Catholic school, and yet the culture, doesn't really feel that Catholic. And then for the last 3 years, I've been going to a public high school, which I really like, and I've been part of a life team group, which has been awesome. And I'm really glad. I wouldn't really want to go to a Catholic school. I'm kind of happy to have free education and then get my faith formation from my church rather than from schools, which often are very like wishy-washy on Catholicism.
Well, Gabriel, you've had a wide range of experiences, and that can only, I think, serve you well as you move forward in life, and especially in selecting a college or university where you go. Would you say then, it sounds like from what you're saying then, that your faith is rooted deeply enough in you that, no matter what kind of a campus you were to find yourself on, perhaps next year, God willing, that you'd be able to not only maintain your faith, but it sounds like you are the type of person who would like to have a positive influence on others regarding faith and Christ and the Catholic Church and so forth. Am I on the mark on that at all?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm really looking forward to being part of, youth ministry and, helping to be active in that wherever I go.
Very good.
Yeah, Gabriel, so before the break, I shared that you were the first caller coming back, and, you're named, after an archangel, the angel Gabriel. And we're very big on guardian angels here on Take Two and establishing the relationship with your guardian angel. Psalm 91, the promise that God made to each and every one of us to have an angel to guard us, to guide us in all our ways, to illuminate our mind and strengthen our will. I'm curious, do you have a relationship with your guardian angel? And, would you be open to making sure that your guardian angel shares with you all the experiences you have going forward? Because you're an incredible young man, and I can say young man because I'm a grandmother, Gabriel, but you're an incredible young adult. And I just want to say that, with the help and the support of your guardian angel, because remember, your guardian angel is beholding the face of God at the same time ministering to you. So you're going to hold on to that direct connection, which is absolutely incredible. I see great things ahead for you, Gabriel. I just am curious, do you remember your guardian angel? Are you aware of your guardian angel? Or if not, would you be open to starting a relationship with your guardian angel?
That's a good question. I wouldn't say I have a big relationship with my guardian angel. I do every morning and night when I'm saying my prayers, I'll pray the angel of God, my guardian dear. But yeah, I think you do make like a great point about sharing with him more. What's going on. It's a great suggestion.
Yeah. Well, you look at the saints. Look at Padre Pio. When Padre Pio couldn't speak certain languages and he would receive letters from in different languages, his guardian angel did the translation for him. So it goes to show you how active. Yeah. It goes to show you how active your guardian angel is. I took my guardian angel with me through all the classes, all the tests, all the exams, all the preparation, everything I encountered. And I have to say, I breezed through all of my studies, and I credit my guardian angel for picking up the slack when I fell asleep.
Oh, that's nice.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Gabriel, you have our prayers as you go through this process of applying to colleges, and we hope that maybe you'll be able to call the program again at some point. We're planning on doing actually other shows in the near future about Catholic education and experiences at all levels of Catholic learning. So thank you, Gabriel in Boston. Happy New Year to you, and we appreciate you listening to and calling Take Two with Jerry and Debbie. We're going to go to Anthony next in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, listening on Real Presence Radio, and another first-time caller to the program. Hi, Anthony. Welcome.
Hi, how are you guys doing today?
Pretty good. How about you?
I'm just living the dream.
Great. So what's on your mind today?
So I just graduated college in December and am becoming a focused missionary. So kind of know the both what it's like to live the college aspect, but also live it in a faith-based journey. And I think kind of the big thing that I hear a lot is just like college is just a war-torn place where there's no hope, no future. It's just kind of something that we just need to give up on. And I mean, if we gave up on it, I definitely would not have became a focused missionary. Like if there wasn't a Newman Center, if there wasn't focus on campus, I definitely would not be calling right now. I wouldn't be listening. I think it's just we need to have more hope, have more, be willing to be open to college. I mean, it's not just the college aspect that's in a dark place right now. It's even in the secular world. I mean, we can't just, I don't know, in my mind, we can't just focus on how college is just a bad place, but there's so much hope. There's so much joy that God is doing on the campus that I think people also need to hear about as well. It's just, I led a Bible study this year with one of my best friends, and we probably had 15, 20 guys in this Bible study, and we invited probably 10, 15 of them when we were downtown at the bars with them. And we had guys start going to Sunday Mass, daily Mass. We had guys go to confession for the first time in 10, 12 years. Like, these are some of the stories that I think people also need to hear about, that God is working on the college campus. He's not just waiting for something to change. He is actively there. He is doing great things on the college campus that also, like I said, just needs to be heard as well.
Anthony, we couldn't agree with you more. By the way, I love the name Anthony because Saint Anthony is one of my favorite saints, my go-to saint. Like everyone else's, everybody thinks Saint Anthony is their own personal saint. So you're so lucky to be named after.
Helpful.
Yeah, he finds us whenever we're lost. Anthony, we totally agree.
Exactly.
Yeah, we totally agree. But there's one thing I just wanted to add on to, if I may, and tell me if I have your permission on this. Mm-hmm. I agree with you. You know, there's some really wonderful Christ-centered activities and events and, real, revelations that are happening on college campuses where people are coming into their own, owning their faith, deepening their faith, like you said, with these guys, having the Bible study and then they're going to Mass and the sacraments. But don't you think, Anthony, we need more Anthonys that are going to go out there and start the Bible studies and sign up for Focus? Because I know that I have a dear, dear, sweet friend's daughter that was a Focus missionary. And, she was sharing with me the whole, how it's all set up where you rely on donations. It's you commit 100% to it and everything. So don't you think we need to have people really step into ministry as well, start to foster that ministerial spirit, Anthony, so that we can keep that going? Because I hear what you're saying and I completely agree with you. I just think we need to multiply you like 1,000 times. What do you think?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, if there wasn't, like I said, focus or ministry in general, I mean, I wouldn't be talking with you guys today. And I definitely think we need to be brave, be courageous, and have no fear. Just like John Paul II says, is be soldiers. And just, I think that's kind of the big one, is just like we can't be afraid to live in this world where we will be yelled at by people in the secular society for living truth. And I think that's kind of the big one, is we can't be afraid to speak truth, but with love and respect towards others.
Right. Well, Focus was founded for this very purpose, and God bless you, Anthony, for your work with Focus. And yeah, you're right. We need to be bold. We need not be afraid. Hey, who was it who really started the university system, the idea of a university and a college education? It was the Catholic Church. The Catholic Church has been responsible for so many advances and really starting so many things, medicine, science, education, and so forth. And then the idea is to give a liberal arts education. Liberal not meaning, in the liberal versus conservative sense, but liberal in the sense of the word. It means free, to free one's mind up to be able to embrace the truth and to go out and share that truth. So it really is, it's an opportunity for us to really, kind of take back the whole university, college and university campus environments, because it was the church who really was responsible largely for starting that. So, great call, Anthony. Thank you, and thanks again for your being a Focus missionary. You're doing great work, and just think of the souls that you're helping to save. So keep it up, brother. Appreciate it.
Okay. I think we heard Anthony say goodbye. Happy New Year again, Anthony. Thank you so much. Keep us posted on how your Focus work is going. You can always email us, take2@ewtn.com. We should do more shows on that too. That would be great for this year. Maria is up next in Chicago, Illinois. Ave Maria Radio is the way you're listening, Maria, and you're a first-time caller. Welcome to Take Two. Happy New Year.
Thank you. Thank you for taking my call. So my question is, whether a parent can or should persuade their son to select a college that has a strong Catholic presence, like Ave Maria or Franciscan or something like that. Because my son thinks he should be able to pick his own college, but since the parents are helping pay the bill, I don't know how much you can, as a parent, how much we are allowed to try to persuade him to select a college that may help him in his formation years.
Well, if you want my quick answer on it, I would say absolutely. You should have a lot to say about this, Maria. Not simply because of the financial involvement that you're paying probably a large part of this, if not all of it. But again, children are entrusted to parents, for really the primary purpose of getting them to heaven. It is every one of them is made in God's image and likeness, and we are all destined for an eternity either in heaven or in hell. And there is, I don't know if your son, how deeply involved he is in the faith or how important that is to him, but Debbie, wouldn't you think, you've talked about this, if you had it to do over with your kids, you'd probably do some things differently. And I just think I would do everything in my power as a parent, especially if I was paying for it, to say no. We're going to narrow it down. There's an organization called the Cardinal Newman Society. I don't know if you're familiar with that, Maria, but it's at newmansociety.org, and they actually rate the Catholic colleges and universities. So it's a very good resource to help someone like your son, maybe pick a good Catholic school.
Yeah, that was very, very well said. Maria, I used to get this question all the time because I worked in youth ministry for many years. So when we used to have our parent sessions, that used to come up all the time, especially mid-junior year and then all the way into the senior year. How much should the parents be involved in encouraging and persuading and prompting their child to choose a Catholic college over a state school or a community college or a secular college. I've often said this. I've seen it both ways. I've seen where parents have sent their kid. They said, okay, you know what? Maybe this Catholic college doesn't offer these opportunities for you on the studies that you want to focus on. So go ahead, pick your college. We'll support you. And I've seen it work out really well. I've also seen it where the parents had the utmost influence on their kids. They sent them to Catholic colleges, and their kids still walked away from the Catholic faith because it was problematic on the campuses. It's just I've always brought it back down to the family. I've always said this. That's why it's so important to get the children, what I mean is elementary, junior high, and then into high school, get them properly equipped enough to understand the faith and to develop their relationship with God, so that when they go off to whatever is decided with the family's help, or if the child decides it completely on their own, the teen, then just make sure they have a solid understanding and open eyes to what they are going to see, what they are going to encounter. I think for me that is so. I used to see that was very important, because let me just tell you why, Maria. I used to see all these kids. They used to come back from college break, and we would have young adult sessions, and that's what they would say to me. They would say, Debbie, we were not prepared. Debbie, we didn't know this was coming at us. Debbie, we didn't know these questions were going to be asked of us as Catholics. So you see where I'm going with that, Maria?
Yes, I totally get it. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would just add a final point to that. As I mentioned, I went to Franciscan University, which is, it's a very, very solid university, Catholic in the faith life. But a lot of parents, felt like, well, my child doesn't really want to go to a Catholic university. They want to kind of spread their wings and experiment and do a lot of things that we really don't want them to do. But we're going to make them go here, and sometimes it backfires.
Mm-hmm.
It just really, it creates a lot of rebellion and resentment in the young people. So we'll be praying for you, Maria, and for your son. It's a tough time to be growing up, and especially trying to pick a college or university to go to. So God bless you, Maria. Thank you so much for your call. We'll be praying for you. Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But Jerry, you said something. I just want to tap into it again. If somebody does go to a state school or a secular, environment, please look for those Catholic organizations immediately that are on campus, and really engage with them, and maybe sign up and do some activities with them. Get involved. I always say right away with the Catholic and the Christian, and the entities that are on campus, and also the groups that are on campus. I think it's very important.
Yeah, for sure. We're going to go back to your calls momentarily. Want to give you a programming reminder that there's a show called Blessed to Play. Blessed to Play. And it's on Sunday afternoons at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And it's with Ron Meyer, who is your host. And this week's guest is Molly Bent, who played women's basketball for the nation's #1 basketball team at the University of Connecticut. And Ron talks with Molly about excelling on the hardwood and why she is now promoting the Catholic faith to collegiate athletes. So it kind of ties into our conversation today. Blessed to Play, Sunday afternoon, 4:30 Eastern Time on many of these same EWTN stations.
Okay, back to the phones we shall go. Patricia in Buffalo, New York, listening on the Station of the Cross. Thanks, Patricia, for waiting, and welcome. Happy New Year.
Oh, thank you. Happy New Year to you. As I was listening and waiting, I had my original thoughts, and then I heard Wade, and then I was like, oh, everything that Wade said, and he is easily he could be my father, because I'm 31 and he's talking about college-age kids. I feel the exact same way that he does. So he already said all of that. And then I heard Gabriel, who was that high school kid who sounded wonderful. And I was like, oh, my gosh, what did his parents teach him? I need to do the exact same thing with my Gabriel, who is 4, and I have 2 other ones. Beautiful. And then Anthony sounded great, too, and I'm like, oh, my gosh, where was he when I was in college? And then Maria's question was great. So now I'm like, oh, my gosh, what am I going to talk about? So I just wanted to talk about my experience with college. Like I said, I'm 31, and when I was deciding where to go to college, I probably had no business even going, because I had no idea what I was supposed to do, what was going on. And I did what Gabriel was talking about, is that I went to Catholic school my entire life, and I definitely did not know half about my faith that I should have. So I was very much in the secular world, and I went to state schools, and followed my high school boyfriend, my goodness, to college. Obviously that didn't work out after a semester, of course, because that's what happens when you're 18 and you're together in a college. And my experience with college is that I fell away from the faith. My parents, they tried really, I think what they were equipped with, they did really well raising us. There's 5 of us. I'm the oldest of 5. And me and my 3, 4, and 5 siblings all went away to school, and then my second brother did not. And we all have college educations. And what I experienced in college is that I wanted what most kids say, well, I want to go away. I need to have the college experience. And let me tell you, I had the college experience, what they talked about. And it was completely I just remember sitting in my dorm room after, I would go out to parties. I would go out, I would skip class. I would lay in bed and be like, what am I doing? What am I doing? What am I doing this for? I don't understand. What is this college experience that they keep on talking about? Because I'm not doing anything that seems worthwhile. And at that point, I was falling away from my faith. And bless my mom, she tried so hard. She was like, well, just try and find the church on campus and and they did. They had a Newman Center on campus. So I would attempt to go to Mass and, try to do those things. But I was just so entrenched with the culture of college, quote unquote, the culture of college, that unfortunately I failed out of my state school after a year. So I was at one school for a half a semester. My boyfriend and I broke up. I went to another school for a year. I changed my major 5 times. And I finally came home. Thank goodness. I came home and I went to my community college. And it wasn't until I came home and came to community college and realized how silly that was and how I was completely ill-equipped, which I think a lot of 18-year-olds, like Wade was saying, that he hit the nail on the head. You don't have enough life experience to go away. Just most kids don't. Someone like Gabriel who called, I would say he would have enough life experience because he sounded very well-formed. But most high school kids, they're not ready. They should not go away. I will not. We have 3 young children and we will have more, but I definitely will never make it a requirement for them to go to college because I really don't think that at 18 you have enough life experience and enough of anything to make any type of good decision. And now I'm $30,000 in debt and still to this day, so I've been out of college for 15 years? I graduated in 2011, so it's 10 years. And my siblings, my 3 younger siblings, they went to very expensive colleges that are going to be mortgage payments, basically, for them to pay back. And, did they get a great education? Of course they did. But now what? They're getting the same jobs as people with not as great of an education. You know what I mean? So that's my experience, that everything that all of your previous callers said, nail on the head. College
Patricia,
is great if you are formed, but
yeah, we're gonna close the show here in just a couple of minutes. Patricia, what a fantastic call. In most cases, when students get onto a campus, it's just so new. A lot of them have experienced and been down a bad path, maybe in high school, but at least you're at home and your parents have the ability to kind of keep an eye on you and so forth. So for a lot of students, I think anyway, it's so new. They want to explore all that the campus experience has to offer, and we know how much of that can potentially be very negative. And I wonder if maybe there's a thought in a lot of young people's minds, Debbie, that they feel that if they don't go to this prestigious university or follow in the footsteps of the sibling or a friend or whatever, they're not going to measure up, But there has to be a lot more that goes into making this very, very important decision. And I'm so glad Patricia called in. It sounds like all the other calls bundled together made up her story.
Yep, I am as well. Thank you, Patricia. You were just perfect way to finish this wonderful discussion. Lisa and Judy, we're not going to get to you. Please email us. You have some interesting takes on this. And Judy is a guidance counselor. We'd love to hear your perspective on this. You can email us at take2@ewtn.com. And wow, great discussion. We're going to do more college themed shows. Tomorrow we're talking about self-improvements you made for 2021. Jerry, that's going to be another great discussion.
Well, it is. Thanks to the Take Two family. Thanks to the Take Two show team, the affiliates, for carrying the program. Until tomorrow, we want to wish you a beautiful and blessed day. And in this year of St. Joseph, please pray for us. Amen.